Warning, this video does not endorse gambling.
Hello everyone, my name is Michael of Rolling a Double 20, and today is my birthday.
Happy birthday!
And for my birthday, I wanted to know, can you beat Fallout New Vegas with only your casino winnings? The rules are simple. I can only use the stuff I buy with my casino winnings. However, I'm gonna have to make an exception for quest items, and you'll find out why soon enough. We wake up after a food coma. Now, it turns out a man in a checkered suit shot us. And I'm totally not showing that for realism, not because I skipped the intro. I named my character appropriately and went with these special stats. Looking back, I wish I put more into intelligence. You'll see why later. As for my attack skills, I went with barter, medicine, and unarmed. My logic with barters is since I'm going to have a limited amount of money, I might as well make the most of it. Medicine also made sense at the time, but I wish I put that into speech. As for unarmed, well, I thought an unarmed build would be the best in terms of cost. For traits, I took heavy-handed and good-natured, and then dropped all the DLC gear. And I had to open a container to put the caps away, as you can't drop them from the Pip-Boy. I immediately started heading towards New Vegas itself. In fact, my first stop was going to be the Atomic Wrangler. That meant running away from all wildlife, past Neo's shack, path marked by this dead NCR trooper. Because this isn't normally how I approach this game, I misjudged the boulder's timing. I clipped it, and as you can see, it hurts a lot. I still make it and can now head to Freeside. While I did make it to Freeside, I eventually had to load it back. You see, I had assumed that if you did all the jobs for the casinos, they would give you chips. And so I did the Atomic Wrangler quest, including getting fish still, only to be given caps. Caps I can't use because these aren't casino winnings. So, my initial plan didn't work. Unsure of how to proceed, I actually decided to look up which quests give you casino winnings. Turns out there's only one quest that does, and it's the Gamora quest line. Going in this blind backfired. But I do have a save from earlier, right next to McCarran Airport. Running past the NCR monorail guards, I make it to the strip. But there's another problem, and no, not the crash. Though that is annoying. See, in order to get the chips, I need to complete the Gamora quest that allows Jericho to kill both Big Sal and Nero. However, that is extremely unlikely, unless I pass an 80 level speech check to get Nero and Big Sal to shoot each other. This is where I'm gonna have to bend the rules quite a bit to allow quest items, cause there's no way to grind up the necessary levels without bending the rules. And this is where I made a mistake in character creator. I definitely needed 8 intelligence to make this level grinding quicker. I get my first 3 level up just by looking at Benny, and with 63 in speech, I wasn't that far off. I reloaded a save after I got carried away. I was going to talk to Joanna to do her little side mission, but I didn't have the speech required. Oh well, I get the quest started anyways by talking with Carlos with a Doritos name. So, Carlitos. Honestly, just a bit of back and forth and reloading a save a few times, because they have difficulty dealing with these assholes. Still, 5-10 attempts later, and I get my XP. Joanna tells us of Kachino's dealings, but we'll have to put a pin in that because that wasn't enough to level us up. I used a free bed to heal up. I know it's not a casino earning, but I'm not taking the bed. Besides, the followers don't mind, so why should you? So I came here to get quests from Julie, as I remember all of them can be solved with speech checks, like helping Hoff and Bill here. I decided to go on the King's questline and do it the pacifist way, as that's the only way I can. However, I am going to have to bend the rules to allow me to use the caps that the King gives me for Oris. And this is a good time to bring up whenever something like that happened, I just dropped the item. Turns out Oris is a fraud. He fakes a problem, then solves it. You know, he would have a good career as a politician. The King gives us some congrats and asks us to become PIs. Strange that's happened twice this month. Anywho, we get the 80 speech we need. But I don't like leaving a quest half finished, so I tracked down the NCR post and told the King the truth, and quickly became a peacemaker. After getting my reward, I headed to Gamora. mostly to get how little we know done. I start by talking to Kachino and stealing his book. I know bending the rules this much and the rules are going to break, but this is necessary. I then blackmailed Kachino in giving up the goose. Side note, I later put the 100 caps into a desk so I don't use them by accident. He tells me Big Sal and Nero are planning something big and we need to destroy the weapons they're bringing in and get rid of Clandon. To get rid of Clandon, I stole his safe key and used the snuff tapes to tell him to piss off. The game crashed again, and to destroy the weapons, I used my speech skill to get Troy to do it for me. And the game crashed again. Wait, didn't I already say that? Hard to tell with New Vegas. And finally, me and Conchino head over to take out the bosses. This setup took well over 2 hours. And yes, I didn't do things the most optimal way. Sorry, but that's not how I usually play games. I do drop the items Kachino gives me. Anywho, this speech check right here is why I had to grind some levels. Yeah, there's always a chance Kachino can kill both of them, but that's slim. Anyways, this dialogue does make Sal and Nero shoot each other, giving Kachino here a real shot. Which did it, and I get my 50 chips. And with my 50 chips in hand, it was time to gamble!
Okay, that's that. No more games for you. Go rob the tops. You're done here.
Wait, there's more!
So occasionally, I would get a few rewards for winning so many times. But while this may count as a casino winning, I'm not sure how you guys would take it, so I dropped everything they gave me, including this suit of combat armor, which makes me very sad. So, so I can actually kind of label this as a bit of a guide. So let me go over the 3 games real quick before I continue on. Roulette was my absolute least favorite, mostly because it felt like it was fucking with me. As the little ball landed on the green more often than I thought, but it was honestly just safer to put everything on red and hope for the best. As for the slot machines, they too would fuck with me, but because of how quick it was, it never felt too annoying. Blackjack by far was my favorite, as it felt like the losses were my fault. You know, I should have stayed when I doubled down instead, etc., etc. Now that my gambling addiction can no longer be satiated, I then became an XP addict. Hey man, you got that XP, man? That shit will level you up, I'm telling you. Anyways, on my way to the tops, I bought some spiked knuckles. The others I bought were just there to keep them fixed up. I told Swank that Benny was being a very bad boy and sent him to his room, where I beat him up and took the platinum chip. Since I'm going for the house ending, this is required. And yes, this is me bending the rules. Again. But I don't want to do the NCR again. At the end of all that, I had about 34,000 caps from the big casino. Vicky and Vance and the Atomic Wrangler gave me roughly 6,000 more. My first spend was on some gear, so I could liberate Prim like you saw in the montage. I gave House a Ritz cracker, and that gives his Securitrons cigar upgrades. And House sends me to Caesars to activate more TVs. First, I had to plan out my route. I know I have a lot of caps, however, this resource is limited, so I would have to proceed carefully. Plus, Mr. House is going to send me later on to wipe out the Brotherhood, meaning I'll need to grind up my science skill to 100. Otherwise, I would have to bend the rules again, and these rules are about to break if I bend them anymore. Along the way, I started grinding for XP on these jackals. Not much else to note on the way to Cottonwood. Caesar here tells me to delete some bots in a bunker, more specifically, House's bunker. Since I am siding with Mr. House, I reactivate the Terminator wannabe, but before I leave, I lie to Caesar to get more of that lovely XP. In fact, I didn't think it was a bad idea to do as many faction quests as possible, until the point of no return. Okay, I was gonna help the Legion a bit more, but Caesar's very next task is to kill Mr. House. Yeah, that's gonna be the point of no return for me. So I left Caesar for good. I then used my funds to upgrade my Power Fist, and I upgraded myself with some Eternal Armor and a passive regen. Why not? I didn't think it was gonna be a bad idea. My next stop was the Boomers, and George here makes a wager. While accepting this would fit the theme of a betting challenge, however, these aren't casino weddings, so I have to decline. I also died on my first try. Unfortunately, making it to Pearl made me lose a few precious stim packs. Still, I decided to help them anyways. Doesn't hurt to have a few more merchants. I got myself some lunch while waiting for Pete to divulge his tribe's backstory. We helped with Jack's love life by convincing Janet to take a gamble, which oddly fits the theme of this run. With these two lovebirds having the most awkward conversation possible, I went to go kill some ants. And I need 65 repair and 60 medicine to help the rest of the Boomers' task. More fucking grinding. I took out these frustrations out on the ants. And since I can't use Loyal's device, I had to keep going back up the stairs to kill more ants. And for that, Loyal sends me to the bottom of the lake. No, not like that, but to raise a World War II bomber. I do get some meds from the Boomers. Trust me, we'll need them. And we only have 8,000 caps left. Oof. Yeah, those implants really drained us. Okay, I do have a mod installed, but all it does is stabilize the game, so it only crashes every once in a while as opposed to every hour. The only side effect of that mod is that the water is strangely clear. In fact, you can see it rendering in real time now. It's a little uncanny. I killed a few lake lurks and nearly drowned without the rebreather. I raised Loyo's airplane. The detonator is a quest item, so I'm gonna have to allow it. And the Boomers are dealt with. My next stop was the Great Khans. I know it's not required for Mr. House, but I want to do the wild card side bits mission for more XP and science points so I can later blow up the Brotherhood. This did mean going through the Fiend turf. Oh well, more XP for me. Soon I got the notification that I met the Great Khans, and I just left. No point in wasting my precious stim packs on murdering the unimportant. The game crashed, and when I returned, I began punching scorpions in Hidden Valley. Mostly to briefly meet the Brotherhood. Don't worry, I'm gonna blow them up later. Just need to finish up this part of the side bits mission. While they did put a collar on me, there's nothing I can do about it until I convince Dobson to leave. With the Brotherhood met, I went back to the strip and had a very brief chat with the White Gloves leader. And turned in the side bets quest, which didn't give me any XP. Meaning that was a waste of time. So I hope doing a few quests for the NCR would help me out. Thankfully, the NCR does give me XP. Cracker then asked my help with the Kings, and all I do is ask the King to be nicer to the NCR. Easy XP. On my way, I bugged the 338 for Emily here. Unfortunately, she rewards me with a bunch of medical supplies that I can't use. Sadly, I wasn't paying attention at the time, which caused me to have to reload the autosave and drop everything she gave me. Honestly, seeing that pile of stim packs made me very, very sad anytime I walked by it. Cracker also gives me 600 caps that I can't use, which led to this very tedious scene of me dumping exactly 600 caps into this dresser. There. And I get an NCR radio that I can't fucking drop. I punch a wall memorial so I can get a few more XP on this speech check. Still needing that 100 science, I use my insanely high speech stat to quickly get this over with. When I get to more, she tells me to go kill the Khans. Sure, why not? While the Colonel was happy with me, however, she wanted me to kill Mr. House next. No more NCR quest.
Excellent.
Thinking I had done most Mr. House quests, I went to turn them in until I got to the Brotherhood quest, and I still don't have enough science. I still need one more level up. Where am I going to find the next XP?
Kind of truce is in order. As long as you don't come. Of course, the truth.
Really? Threatening me? Listen, if it came between choosing the powder gangers and a pile of dog shit, I'd pick the dog shit every time. As I was saying, I went to Black Mountain to confront Tabitha, and I had to switch to my power fist. I didn't want to, but this was the only consistent way of killing the super mutants. Memories. Fighting these super mutants was draining on the stim packs, and the game crashed. Again. I feel like I'm repeating myself. I had to kill the super mutants again because of that. This time a super mutant hit me into a new gradient. After killing the mutant sniper, I fixed up Rhonda. While Tabitha is grateful, I immediately sneak attack her for XP. All that was left was to kill one more super mutant that somehow escaped the carnage. And I had just enough points for 100 science. You now know what has to be done. But before I commit to this genocide, I got the Elder's permission to purchase stuff. Ironically, purchasing this thermic lance from the Brotherhood saved the run. I'll get to why later. For now,
Run, bitch! Run!
with the Brotherhood destroyed, it was time to protect the NCR president. One brief bit of confusion later, the game eventually corrects itself. To save the president, I killed the sniper and warn him of a political scandal. And for a safe measure, I also disarmed the bomb on the helicopter. And thanks to my efforts, the president can continue denying its citizens accountability. With that, the second battle of Hoover Dam is near. I thought this was the best way to use my last 4K funds, is just buying stim packs. Yes, I dropped the stew the king gave me. Stop giving me stuff I can't use. I also bought an upgrade to my power fist so it attacks faster. When did I get these iguana bits? I don't know. Even reviewing
You're back.
the footage, I have no idea. Sadly, this was my last time buying anything, as I only have 102 caps left. Damn. But I am close to done. One final check of the inventory before I head off to talk to House. Before the battle, he wants a backup generator activated. I oblige and kill the NCR troopers there. I may have saved the presidents, but that's because he matters. Grunts do not. There's nothing left to do, so off to Hoover Dam. Fighting the Legion was easy if I could get up close, though even with combat armor, they still drained me of my health quite fast. I dropped the house on the dam. I died to an unlucky shot. Well, lucky shot from his POV. And just outside the Legates camp, the game crashed. Entering the Legates camp caused a few stimpack draining fights, but man, that didn't even compare to my fight with Elanius here. I eventually tried doing this smart by getting a 1v1 on Elanius. Even with that, he quickly mopped the floor with me multiple times. I had to use the beds here to get a quick heal before attacking Lanius. One strategy I tried was using the thermic lance to cripple Lanius' leg. And while that didn't quite work, it was doing way more damage than I was giving it credit for. While I still died a few times, this thermic lance became the savior of this run. Didn't help when he Fusro dodged me into next week. What is he, the fucking Dragonborn? But yes, this was the time I got him. I meet with Oliver, then I meet with House, ending the game. Proving, yes, you can beat New Vegas with only your casino winnings. Plus quest items and environmental items, but I think you get the point. I find this run so fascinating because you could make the argument I broke the rules the moment I picked up the platinum chip, or used the bed, or even when I took the King's quest and gave Oristos caps. But you could make those arguments that those are quest items or environmental, so it doesn't really count. Alright, let's go over what I would change if I had to do this again. As well to give you guys some advice. The biggest thing I would change is to just to plan ahead. I was completely thrown when I realized the Atomic Wrangler didn't give me chips at the end of their quest line. Also, I should have taken the Super Slam perk, but I was also really trying to grind my science skills, so I know what you're thinking. Michael, you probably cheated. There's no way. Like you said, you don't know where those iguana bits came from. Well, you're right on the second part. I don't know where those iguana bits came from. But A, I did drop them on the floor, and B, if enough of you ask, I'll link the full unedited playthrough and you can review the footage yourself. All 8.5 hours of it. This has been Michael of Rolling a Double 20. Thank you for watching.